Okay, guys, we're going to work on this part. There's one more thing I need to show you with adding and subtracting fractions again. It still does with borrowing, but none of these that we need right now actually need to be borrowed. I'm going to let you take a moment and subtract these. It's the exact same thing you did over here with addition, but the opposite direction now. So what you're going to do over here is you're going to go over here and you're going to solve these problems. You can do the common denominator, or you can do your butterfly. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to give you some time. And then when you have the answer, you may enter it in on your Edmodo part, or Edpuzzle part. And then we will continue. Okay. You're also going to try 7 2/4 minus 3 1/3. Once again, you don't need to borrow with this subtraction piece. So once again, take a moment. Remember, when you have a whole number, you type in whole number, space. You could add a couple spaces, it's okay. And then you add in the number / the bottom denominator here. So, because you're going to get a mixed number here. So take a moment and solve this problem here. What you should have gotten for number 8 is 4 1/6. I did it the butterfly way. Now on your yellow or on your scrap sheet of paper, you should still have some room here. We do need to talk about subtracting with borrowing, because you're going to see some problems like that. So I want you to write 3 1/3 minus 2 1/2. You'll take a moment and write 3 1/3 minus 2 1/2 on your sheet of paper. Okay. If you do the butterfly here, you're going to notice that you have 2 minus 3. Well, you know that you can't do 2 minus 3. The smaller number has to be on the side. The bigger number has to be on the side. So this isn't going to work. So I like to write it again after I've seen that I can't do it. And what I'm going to have to do, this is called the borrowing technique with subtraction when it just doesn't work. The 3, once again, will become a 2. And just like we did over here, when we are saying 3 3/3, this is going to come down here and become 2 3/3. But I still have this 1/3 here now. Okay, so this has to get added to the 1/3. So now I have 2 wholes. 3 plus 1 is 4. So now this is 4/3. So I have 2 4/3. If I were to simplify that, or if I were to resolve it, it would equal the 3 1/3. However, I need this right now to equal 2 4/3 minus 2 1/6. Now I can go back and do my butterfly if I so choose. 4, 3, 18. Oh, sorry, this is not, that's why. It's like 1/2. See, I'm losing my mind. That's what happens when you try this again 100 times today. 8. I apologize. I apologize for those that wrote it down correctly. See, that's what happens. So now you're going to take 8 times 2, or 8 times 4 gets, 4 times 2 gets you 8. And now I can subtract 8 minus 3 and gets me 5. And then my denominator over here is 6. And my 2 minus 2 means I have no whole number. Let's try another one here. I have some more room still left. Okay, I'm going to do 4 1/5 minus 2 2/3. If I do the regular butterfly, this is going to get me 10. This is going to get me 3. I cannot take 3 minus 10. It just does not work. So this 4 here becomes a 3. And now I have 5 5s. 4 is equivalent to 3 5/5. Well, right now I have an issue. I have this 5 5s and these 3 and this 1/5. Okay, so now this is answer over here. I'm going to bring this 4. This still gets to become a 3. I'm going to rewrite it actually. 3. 5 fives plus 1 5 equals 6 fives minus 2 2/3. Now I can go and do the butterfly. I can do the common denominator however I would wish. This gets you 10. This gets you 18. This gets you 15. My butterfly at middle tells me what I need to do. 18 minus 10 equals 8 15ths. And then I have 3 minus 2, which equals 1 8/15. Okay, take a moment and do this one. Try it yourself. I'm going to do 4 1/4 minus 1 2/5. Oops. Can you see that? Okay, there you go. 4 1/4 minus 1 2/5. So take a moment. You are going to need to borrow it. Okay, 4 becomes a 3. And this becomes 4/4. Now the reason this is 4/4 and it's not 5 fives or because I'm working with the 4 denominator here, so it tells me. So really now I have 4/4 and 1/4. You're going to get an improper, but that's the whole point, is to get an improper so that you can do it. And you're going to get 3 5/4 minus 1 2/5. So take a moment, solve that problem, type it onto Edmodo. Okay, guys, we're going to look at question number 9. We now need to be able to plug in the missing number. So I'm just going to rewrite it. I can do this 2 ways. I can do common denominator. I can do butterfly. I'm going to use the butterfly method. It's the easiest way for me because I can see that this is the common denominator. The way is 12. And if I do this, I get 9. I need to take a number up here minus something equals 5/12. Well, I need this to be 4, right? And the reason I didn't write it in this spot here is because it's not 4/3. 4 times what number equals 4? It should be 1/3. Okay? And I want you to go back down here. I want you to try the exact same thing. If I rewrite it the right way. So take a moment. Now what you're going to notice is if you're going to have to reduce this. If you do the butterfly way, you're going to have to reduce it to get 7/8 because otherwise you're not, even if you times it by 1, you're going to get 8. So you need to make sure that you have done it the correct way, or you can do the common denominator. I see that the common denominator is 8. Blank over 2. Common denominator is 8. This is 3. I got times this by 4. Whatever I times up here is 4. So I got to figure out what number plus this number equals 7. So take a moment because you have to figure out what this is, times it by 4. Don't forget to staple on your work onto the back of this so that when I'm looking at your trifolds and stuff, I can see that you actually participated in following my directions.